Once upon a time, there was a very nice-looking young boy around the age of 10, not too skinny, not too fat, who had a perfect physique for his age. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and excellent manners until he started talking to himself and playing with fire. One day, when he was about 6 months into his 10th year, he started yelling at his mom to make them go away. And his mom kept asking, "Who do you want to go away?" And the boy would always tell his mom, "The one standing in front of me. Can't you see them, Mommy? The ghosts are there." His mom started becoming very frustrated with her son Ben because he kept saying this all the time. Entirely and utterly fed up with his bizarre rants, she says to Ben, "I am taking you to the church for an exorcism to get rid of the ghosts." While driving to the church, Ben asks his mom with a crooked grin on his face if it was the church with all the pretty candles, and then chuckles and thinks to himself, "I am so excited." Ben's mommy drops him off at the church, and he, the priest, begins the exorcism with 3 other clergy members from the church. During the demon-ridding ceremony, the members of the demon-casting team started chanting, "Out with the ghosts." They started sprinkling holy water on the head and face of Ben. About an hour later, Ben's mommy received a phone call from the police saying she needed to come to the church right away. There was a fire, 4 people were burned to death, and Ben was the only one who survived the church fire. Now fast forward 12 years. The police are at a crime scene looking at a dead body of a young teenage woman. Her melted Nike nylon jacket is stuck to her exposed ribs like black melted sugar. The police crime scene investigators are in complete shock because they realize a severe problem in their community. After all, this was the 3rd victim killed in the same manner over the last week. Each burned victim also missed their purses and the items they bought from the store. Luckily, a witness nearby heard a man arguing with someone. However, the witness could not see who it was. They could only listen, so they thought it must have been someone on the phone because they only heard one voice. A short drive away, Ben sits on his bed chatting with the ghosts the clergy were supposed to expel out of his body years ago. The spirits keep telling him to light the candles. He lights the candles, smiles with a sheepish grin, then tries to fall asleep. But all he can think about is fire and wishing he could sleep because Ben has been up for the last 3 days. Ben's empty schizophrenic medicine bottle gives off an eerie pale brown glow next to the flickering candle on his desk. Next to the uncapped pill bottle lay 3 empty purses. At the same time, the hallucinations of evil ghosts start taking over his mind again. Ben keeps asking them to leave, but they will not. He jumps out of bed swinging, punching, and kicking at the evil ghosts taking over his bedroom. Ben fights and fights until he falls to the floor, screaming, "Leave me alone." Ben continues sobbing and begging for them to leave and let him sleep until the ghosts make a deal with him. The spirits tell Ben if he goes to the grocery store to buy some fruit and find one more lady, they will leave him alone. With a new resolve, Ben slowly climbs up from the floor, stares directly into the mirror, where all Ben sees is a flat gaze with huge black eye bags due to the lack of not sleeping over the last 80+ hours. Ben begins to sob uncontrollably, knowing what he is about to do is wrong. Ben decides to make one more frantic effort for help, and he tries calling his mother on the telephone. "Mommy, please help me. The ghosts are back, and they won't leave me alone." Because Ben has been unstable for the last 12 years. He lost touch with his family, became antisocial, and became closed off to the rest of the world. He only talked to the ghosts. Ben's mother quickly becomes frustrated with Ben and tells him he needs to go to church again to get an exorcism because it helped him in the past. Ben starts yelling, "No mommy, no mommy, please do not make me do that again." She hangs up the phone in anger. Ben walks out of the room with spirits dancing behind him with glee as he walks towards the grocery store's direction and a cigarette lighter in his pocket. However, this time was different. He grabbed his pocket knife and slipped it into his jacket pocket as he exited his apartment. In the meantime, the police are in a full all-out investigation. They are searching for the new serial killer amongst the citizens of there used to be a non-threatening suburb of Seattle, Washington. The police were confused because they could not figure out why the attacks on the victims were so brutal for just a simple robbery of their purses and groceries. After interviewing witnesses close to the crime scene of the third murder, the detectives got a significant lead. One of the witnesses told the police that they heard a man yelling, "I am not going to kill anymore, and do not make me do that again." Then the police detective got the idea to check criminal records for mentally ill people with delusional mindsets or schizophrenic tendencies. Amazingly enough, they got a hit from their search. And the police records just happened to identify Ben as a potential target because of his past criminal record of animal cruelty. Over the last 2 years, he was arrested 4 times for capturing, burning, and torturing his neighbors' cats and dogs. He spent 6 months in jail and then 6 more months in mental health institute for schizophrenia treatment. While in the mental health facility, they tried to cure the voices and hallucinations of the gang of ghosts that always followed him around. The police immediately mobilized their resources, arming themselves with photos of the possible suspect and a search warrant. They went to his apartment and started showing the images of Ben and asking Ben's neighbors if they had seen him and what his behaviors were like. One of Ben's neighbors told the detectives he saw Ben just 15 minutes ago walking towards the grocery store. He was acting crazy and talking to himself while holding a burning cigarette lighter above his head. Now in the grocery, a beautiful young 20-year-old woman is shopping for fruit and inspecting a kiwi when an ungroomed, baggy-eyed Ben bumps into her.